All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Right now we are on South Main Street, headed towards the heart of the downtown area. As we cruise along here, let's go over some basic info about Pine Bluff. Pine Bluff is the 11th largest city in the state of Arkansas with a population in 2020 of 41,253. It is the county seat of Jefferson County and the anchor city of the greater Pine Bluff metro area, which had a 2020 population of 87,751. I recently did a couple videos on American metro areas that are losing population. Pine Bluff didn't qualify for that video based on its population, but I do want to note that it actually saw the overall third largest population decline in the country between 2020 and 2022, only behind San Francisco and Lake Charles, Louisiana. Now, as far as city population goes, I want to show you the population trend of the city between 1950 and today. Notice when things started to decline. Keep that in mind as we'll revisit that later in the video. As we cruise down on the right, you'll see this Simmons Bank Tower. Simmons Bank is a major regional bank in the area that was actually founded in Pine Bluff back in 1903. It appears to be the lone major prosperous business in the downtown area. As we continue past it, you can see the next couple of blocks look completely abandoned. Driving past the railroad tracks here into what looks like it should be, or used to be, the busiest part of the downtown, now looks almost totally vacant. I've truly never seen anything like it. It doesn't get much better here on 2nd Avenue. Similar to Texarkana, the skeleton is in place. Well paved, painted and maintained roads, clean sidewalks. But let's hop out of the car and take a closer look. And right here is Main and 5th. This is the main intersection of the downtown, with Main Street being the north-south route and 5th being the main east-west street of the city. And you can see this is that block I was talking about where everything is abandoned, like the entire block. Looks like there was a building here that must have been demolished sometime recently. Very post-apocalyptic look here. boarded up building here on the right. And I caught it just in time for the freight train. So let's go ahead and skip ahead through that. And continuing on past the railroad tracks, you see this little strip right here, the front of the tracks, all abandoned, completely, everything gone. And now we're getting into that main part of downtown that I drove through earlier. Yeah, looks like this is gone. This is absolutely incredible. And notice how well groomed the sidewalks and the landscape is. So you can tell that local government officials are trying to do something to revitalize the area. And I ran into this gentleman who wanted to share a few words about the city of Pine Bluff.
In the meantime, he walks downtown Pine Bluff, taking shots of all the buildings. But that's not the beginning of the story. This is the kind of story began some 14 years ago. They started the downtown development. Hello again, everybody. Floyd Donald reporting live from downtown Pine Bluff. And the gentleman behind the camera is showing and showcasing some of the many improvements that are taking place here. This is all a part of the downtown development, the revitalization of our city. In a moment, we'll tell you a little bit more about the revitalization of downtown Pine Bluff. We'll look that way towards the Jefferson County Courthouse. Stand by. We're going to take this short commercial break. We'll be back with more in a moment.
All right.
All right.
All right. Now, as we continue our stroll up Main Street, see the beauty shop looks like it's actually in business. Pop's Barbershop and Beauty Shop. And as you can see, as the gentleman stated earlier, you see the government investment. You see the crosswalks, well painted. You got park benches out here. Got some little landscaping, tree shrubs. Just a matter of, can you reattract the private businesses to the area? Main Street, little public park. Got a mural here of Pine Bluff from the 1800s. That may or may not be open right there. Another nice mural on that side of the street. On 212 North Main Street, nobody's home. Upscale sports bar. So there's a lot of available property here. So it's in place if anyone wants some cheap land. I'm sure this stuff doesn't cost too much. You see these tire marks right here at this intersection, so you already know what's been going on here. It's like more abandonment over there. I assume there used to be some type of building or structure in there. I did notice that this section up to the courthouse is blocked off for some reason. Wonder why that is. Here we have it, the iconic Jefferson County Courthouse here in Pine Bluff. Tuskegee Airmen mural. got some well-maintained landscaping back here as well. I'm coming up on this building, which has clearly seen better days. It's like it used to be a church or of some sort. Okay, Sovereign Grand Lodge. Back here to the railroad. This is the area I was talking about earlier, where all the buildings fronting the railroad tracks are abandoned. It's like a museum of sorts here, so what you'll notice, what I'm seeing is that pretty much everything maintained by the government in Pine Bluff seems to be in good condition, intact, with the exception being Simmons Bank. And it looks like the entrance to this building was, or whatever this is, was completely knocked out somehow. Fascinating. All right, now we're making our way back towards that Simmons Bank area. We'll hop back in the car and take a look at a few other parts of the city. And as we can see here, government structures in great condition, as we've seen so far. On the right, there's the public library. On the left, the Chamber of Commerce. Hey, one thing I will say so far is that, a lot of Pine Bluff is walkable for you people looking for walkable cities, affordable real estate, walkable small town. And over here we're headed back towards near the downtown area. You can see a couple businesses open on this street. Now it looks like whatever used to be on this street is totally gone. Even the remnants of the structures are gone. Geez, so much for road maintenance on this street. So you can tell that the government of Pine Bluff is pouring a lot of its money into that main downtown area, as these areas immediately adjacent to it are kind of still in bad shape. Here you see coming through one of the residential areas. There are a few nice houses still in Pine Bluff. One thing I will say about these small southern towns, no matter how poor they are, no matter how much crime or abandonment there is, there are always still some people here who do have money. So if you're looking for some cheap rent or low mortgage, you might be able to find it here in Pine Bluff. Like a lot of empty blocks up here. Okay. All right, now there's some of the residential areas. All right, so that's enough of the core city. Let's zoom out a little bit and take a look at the roadway infrastructure of the Pine Bluff area. Zooming out and taking a look at Pine Bluff, we can see that it is indeed connected to the interstate highway system. The auxiliary route I-530 was completed in the 1990s and connects the city with the capital of Little Rock. Pine Bluff is actually included in the Little Rock Combined Statistical Area. As some complained about me not mentioning in regards to Texarkana, yes, Pine Bluff, like Texarkana, does indeed have a Walmart and a few other Anytown USA style developments near the interstate that you can literally find in your local city. So there's no need to waste time filming them. Just assume going forward that any town that I talk about already has a Walmart, unless otherwise mentioned. You'll also notice there's an Arkansas State Route 530 that continues south of Pine Bluff. This is currently a 2-lane road that is planned to eventually be expanded into a full 4-lane interstate and connect to the future I-69 near Monticello. If ever completed, this will make Pine Bluff a pass-through route on the interstate rather than the dead end that it currently sits at. Whether or not this would help the downtown area is up in the air. Looking at Pine Bluff and similar towns around America, it seems that developers typically prefer to just build on undeveloped land rather than redevelop existing properties. Even near Pine Bluff, you can find newer, cleaner developments along I-530 and the suburb of Whitehall. The downside is that potentially these future highways could instead create new suburban type development rather than attract businesses to the core city, but that remains to be seen here in Pine Bluff. So before we talk about the future, let's explore the past. What actually happened to cause Pine Bluff to spiral into decline? Well, the answer, like many other small towns, is jobs. Recall the table that I showed you guys earlier in the video of when Pine Bluff actually started to decline. Notice that it wasn't the 1950s or the 1960s like many Rust Belt cities. No, it was the 1980s and the 1990s. What happened in America during this time? Towns like Pine Bluff were heavily dependent on manufacturing, and once, quote, free trade and globalization became the name of the game around this time, that was the beginning of the end for small town Southern America, with the final death knell being sealed with NAFTA in the 1990s. Pine Bluff has been in rapid decline ever since. As the jobs left, the crime went up, and people started to flee the area for better opportunities. Pine Bluff is now considered one of the most dangerous towns in the country and one of America's fastest shrinking cities. Even the metro as a whole is shrinking. So now the question is, can things be changed? Can Pine Bluff be turned around? Well, it's possible. Well, ultimately, what it will take to reverse the decline in Pine Bluff is going to be the same thing that started the decline in the first place: jobs. As I've seen, many locals and government officials seem to be optimistic about turning the place around. They've laid the basic infrastructure foundation for businesses to repopulate downtown. There's also a university in the area, which I found to be interesting, as the small towns that survived NAFTA and globalization typically were the ones with a young, educated population due to a nearby university or college. So either the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff is on the smaller side, or the graduates from there leave the city after attaining their education. However, the crime issue is definitely something that needs to get under control. In addition to that, government investment can only do so much. Pine Bluff and perhaps Arkansas state officials will have to figure out a way to make the area attractive to potential large job-creating businesses. As of right now, the numbers aren't looking good, as the city also saw another major decline in the short time between 2020 and the 2022 census estimate. As the population continues to decline, that also means a decrease in revenue for the city to maintain the infrastructure and invest in public safety. Now, personally, I am fascinated by these small towns around America, and I would hope that Pine Bluff can turn it around, but we shall see. But there it is, guys. That is Pine Bluff. Have you ever been to Pine Bluff? If so, what did you think of the area? Do you think it can be turned around, or is the decline going to continue? Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one, coming soon to a town near you.